When you first step onto the path towards self-knowledge and inner peace, you'll find that it requires that you walk away from the world of form with all of its pleasure and pain, drama and transformation, and begin to explore the wilderness of your own inner consciousness. You'll find that this is a rather solitary path, although there are trails marked from people who came before, which have also considered it useful to learn what one is at the core, the essence, the center of one's being is that witnessing presence, which is eternal, which remembers, has experienced what you were when you were 3 years old, was the experiencer of your dreams last night, will be with you at work, on vacation, in the midst of arguments, in the greatest visions of peace. And as you grow older, it will be that same witnessing presence which will be there as the body transitions from life to death, and then possibly back to birth again. And the idea is to find a way to identify with this eternal self, this light that shines through as we walk our path in the world with all of our humanly experiences, that calls us to bathe in its peace, understanding, and wisdom. We catch a glimpse of it as we walk, as we practice our meditation techniques, as we aim to be a good person. And that inspires us forward to continue on our path. Spiritual realization is the same for all people. It requires certain things be done. And essentially that is making the effort personally to do whatever it takes to organize one's life, to minimize distractions, to be aware of the people that we spend time with, and not to judge anyone, but just to decide, is this individual supporting my capacity for inner peace or not? Are they causing more drama in my mind? Choosing to be as healthy as possible, within reason, knowing that we all have different genetic circumstances, so that we are able to sit still in meditation, so that we are able to not be bothered by aches and pains within the body or fidgeting, and to take care of all the other aspects of our life, such as our finances, so we're not unduly stressed by finances. All these are part of the process towards awakening, and it's often overlooked because people become overzealous or fascinated by fantasy, such as escaping from the world, experiencing eternal bliss, and that's really just a sublimation of unresolved emotional and psychological difficulties. So we also must remember that part of the path towards awakening inner peace and self-knowledge is to learn to realistically and effectively work with, in whatever way we can, with whatever skill sets we can find, work with and explore, integrate past pain, difficulties, traumas, and let them go in whatever way you can. Because it's only when the life becomes balanced externally, typically, that you will have the capacity to stop walking, to stop seeking, to stop trying to get somewhere on a path, and you're able to sit still, to sit down, and to internalize your awareness. It's here where you become more focused. You begin to learn how to control the mind, not let it be something that drives you, but you realize that it is simply an aspect of who you are, and it is a tool for interacting with the world of form. And so we learn to sit, to internalize our awareness. And if we know effective meditation techniques such as mantra or Kriya pranayama, we practice that to harmonize the nervous system and to draw our attention more fully inward. And if we don't know these more advanced techniques, all we need to do is sit up straight, quietly, close our eyes, and give our attention to our breath. Feel the breath. As you inhale, you feel the breath entering your body. As you exhale, you're aware of the breath merging with the environment around you, merging with your greater sense of self. And you begin to watch and listen as the light changes around you, as the world moves around you. Sounds come and go. You breathe, observing. And as you do this, typically, this is the time when thoughts begin to rise and fall. You begin to think that you're not meditating well because all you can see are the changes, the imagination going on within your mind. But as long as you are able to watch and remain as that witnessing presence, you are meditating. Because the beginning process, once you've stopped trying to get somewhere, and you can simply sit still. As thoughts arise, as emotions arise, as distractions arise, that is necessary because that is part of clearing out your consciousness. Releasing attachment to all those things, those internal forms, ideas, your history, your past. They must arise and dissolve, and the way you do that is by not engaging them. You just simply watch them as though clouds pass before the sun. Just letting them pass. And you can do this now, as you listen. Listen, but also be aware of what's going on in your consciousness. Be the observer. What do you see? What do you feel? What do you experience? Whatever changes occur is of no concern, because change is endless. You're never going to put an end to that. But what you can do is give greater attention to that inner presence which is always eternally aware of every change. It is that presence which is changeless, and that is your very self. And as you continue in this way, it may be days, it may be months, it may be years that you spend watching, observing, being that presence, seeing things rise and fall, pain, pleasure, joy, sorrow, thoughts, emotions coming and going. But it is necessary. And the more you can anchor your awareness on a technique, even a technique as simple as watching the breath or observing, you are doing the work that is necessary. And in time, you'll begin to see how the situations you experience in life, the people you spend time with, the things you do, how that sustains this addiction to change and form, or how it helps to calm your mind. So you have to pay attention to your life when you're not meditating. It's part of the Kriya Yoga process is to make choices that affirm your intention to fully and completely let go of attachment to the body, to the mind, to the history, and to be able to sit as the witnessing presence at first, and then in time learn to maintain that state of consciousness throughout any activity within the world. So this is an extremely subtle process, which is why most people don't really follow it, or they would rather become involved with groups or give their power away to someone else that they think is going to enlighten them. It's much easier. But those of you who understand, who feel deeply inside this call towards inner peace and self-knowledge, you know, whether your mind can process it or not, that this path is extremely subtle and requires the finest attention to detail, the capacity to pay attention and observe, no matter what you're doing or who you think you are. So you return to the breath, return to your body, sitting, observing quietly, breathing easily. And then you begin to appreciate that much of the process is wrapped up in two particular processes. Number one, learning to focus the mind, to master the mind, to hold it in one place, to train it to do this. And number two, to sit waiting for the full reality of your consciousness to reveal itself beyond all name, form, and history. So there is the mastery of the mind, which is what the meditation processes are for, whether it's simple breath awareness or Kriya Pranayama or self-inquiry. You direct your attention to one thing to master this mind. And then you cannot control, your little self cannot control when realization dawns. But you can wait and be prepared. And as you breathe and watch, observe, this realization may come to you in a flash in meditation, briefly, reassuringly. Or it may last. And if you are able to pay attention in meditation, you'll be able to do this in life too, and then you'll start to also be open to realizations as they appear to you in your daily life, because there is no separation in consciousness. We sit quietly to meditate as training. But that is only to prepare us to carry that attention into every activity, every situation, and every circumstance. And the breath can always be the anchor. And we can consider this as a beginning stage within the process. For once the mind is calm and we can wait, and we can observe, and we can be ourself as that witnessing presence, then we can begin to direct our attention to that which we want to know fully and completely, such as, who am I? What are you, really, beyond name and form? You contemplate that, you ask that question, you let that be the focus of your attention, and you hold it there, as though you're speaking to a friend that has knowledge, and you really wish to know what they have to share with you. You ask and wait. And by putting your attention on these kinds of questions, who am I or what am I, sincerely waiting, your mind is concentrated on it, and then you let it go. This begins to call into your experience from your greater sense of self, that direct knowledge, which is not of the mind, it's not going to speak to you, it's going to be almost like an aha moment. And again, it will come in a flash, and you may not even understand it at first. But as the days and years and months go by, as you continuously direct your attention to it, because now you have control of your mind and you can hold it on that wondering of what you are, it grows stronger and clearer until eventually you no longer have to ask. You know. And some might say it's at this point where you really begin your inner exploration, because you've prepared. And again, it is a solitary path, not one that you talk about with others, but one that you explore with yourself, or if you have a mentor who is knowledgeable in such things, with your mentor. And then the time comes where you have to return back to the world, but before you do, you acknowledge and honor that inner light within you, within everything and everyone. However you do that, mentally, visually, with your imagination, see it, call it forth. And imagine it permeating your day and every person, thing, circumstance, whether you like it or don't like it, or whether you like the person or not. You honor and acknowledge it as a radiant aspect of your very self. And then you return back to the path, to the world of change and of form, carrying that inner light, that inner sense of transformation with you, realizing that it is a much greater consciousness walking your path, not just your little sense of self. Until the next time.